Live from Viva Mexico. Got the shirt, Mexico. I'm here, and we have a lot to talk about. January transfer window has opened. We're going to talk about some certain moves, some certain news. And so I've sent the link to Eugene. He's going to jump on. I may just post the link on here if people want to jump on and get their opinion on our possible news sighting. Mr. Dragon, I call him the Dragon, and I will show you, and we'll talk about his strengths, his weaknesses. So, yeah. So, as you guys can see, as title of this stream, January business is here. We have been talking about, how do we go about with January transfer windows? Now, don't transfer windows. We all know Daniel Levy. We know that he has not, some believe that he's changed. He's a new man, new leaf. He's letting people be in charge. We found out this morning that, according to Matt Law, Paratici is still working behind the scenes. Not Scott Munn, not, what's his name? Gosh, it's not ringing a bell. But Paratici, who we thought left the club, still has his tentacles around the club. So, interesting. Maybe he could work on Federico Chiesa. So, let's get to the first topic at hand. And the first topic at hand is the January transfer window has opened. It has definitely opened. And so, the question is, and here is the question. Is it same old tactics? Same old tactics. Let me post it. Use my laptop. Same old tactics. Having a little technical difficulty. Okay. And so that's the question we ask ourselves. Is it the same old Spurs in regards to January transfer business? I said this Friday, and I said this yesterday on Stell's show. We have a method that where we will tell the press, right? It gets leaked out to the press that we have target number 1, target number 2, like target A and number 2. Number 1 and 2. Did I send you the correct link? Sorry, brother. Let me post the link right now. I think I might have sent you the wrong link. Sorry, guys. All right. So I posted a link. So same old tactic, right? So the tactic was a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, because of a certain name, Tobito. Jean Tobito is a French national who plays for Nice. Nice is having a good year. They're one of the second best defensive teams of all of Europe. The guy starts, big up Ratish. The guy starts over Saliba. The guy is good on the ball, very well defensive, very good. Some people say maybe a little bit of rashness of him in him, but overall quality signing. Then, as the weeks going on, you start noticing the language, right? even for Mange, you know, it's going to probably take people expecting miracles this transfer window, right? Try to calm people's emotions down about what's going to happen in January, you know. And for me, you know, me knowing Daniel Levy and how this board works, for me, I don't get excited, until the ink dries or until a former YouTuber, not gonna mention his name, would say until they hold a shirt, right? This is what I used to. That's the philosophy I go with, right? Until the ink dries, you know, I won't celebrate about getting them player. But what ended up happening is that Tobido it's really a smoke screen because there is no way, right? The guy to negotiations, right? People said 35 mil, 40 mil, 45 mil. And when it's around those numbers, I'm like, I know Tottenham. It smells like Tottenham. It smells like Daniel Levy is in the background because he always has the final say. I don't care what you say about Scott Munn. I don't say what you say about Lang, whoever it is. It goes to Daniel Levy. It sits at his desk, and even probably before that, from Matt Law, Paratici. We can say Paratici also has some influence, according to Matt Law. And so what ended up happening was there was a report yesterday. I woke up laughing my ass off because it says, well, it looks like Nice doesn't want to continue negotiations because they don't want to sell. But they are opening negotiations with Chelsea. And I laugh because there's no shock. So to end this long monologue, right, we start hearing a new name, Radu. I don't want to butcher his name. I'm gonna say it right now, Dragusin. I have a nickname for him. I'm already gonna call him Dragon. I'm gonna call him the Dragon. That's a cool nickname to have, Dragon. And I have seen the videos. He seems like a real good, like, to tell the truth, he seems like a real good player. We really need him to come in. And so, before I get the guy's opinion about our transfer window and about this guy, let me show you guys. Let me share the screen. I'm gonna share the screen with you guys. And this is all right. Let me show you the screen and put it full screen. Can you guys see the screen?
Not yet, no.
Not yet?
No.
Okay. Okay, let me go back and then let me okay. I have to show the screen. Duh. So for those of you who have not watched videos on him, this is the screen on Mr. Dragon. And so if you look here, his best attributes, tackling. I've seen the videos, I've seen 5 compilations. This is Brazil scout tackling. He's really good. I see from the videos, comps. Aerial duels, he should be. He's tall, 6'3", real good on set pieces, defensively, strength, positioning, marking, which we in dire need of that. Only Romero and Van de Ven are the only ones who are, I believe, those are their skills in regards of positioning, strength and marking, interceptions, and bravery. Weakness, Brazil Scout usually puts a weakness. They say no significant weaknesses. And they compare him to Kim Min-jae, Pepe, and Abidal. Yeah, I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm sold. So guys, Mr. Dragon, your opinions.
Well, I'll go if you like. Yeah, I watched that video, Mari, because when any story gathers legs, I always post the videos in my group to let the group see what opinions. I think we'd get him. He wants to come. He's quick as well. He is quick, and he also had an 82.5% successful pass rate. So no, he looks good. But until we see him play in the Premier League, it's like the same with all players, isn't it? I mean, until we see them play, and you know, this is where you need a bit of patience, especially with the defender fans. And Spurs fans are notoriously impatient because he's going to come in. Now, even other players that have come in, Porro and others, said it took them a time to adjust to the pace of the Premier League. There's no other league like it for pace, right? So he may need a little bit of settling in time. I wouldn't throw him in straight away. If he comes in this week, we've got the 2-week winter break to blood him. Van der Ven's supposed to be back for the Man United game, which is good news, right? So if not, it'll be the game after because he's already been in training. So let's get this guy in because we need a centre-back. And we've still got Dorrington Phillips, who may get a run out against Burnley Friday when you get onto that, you know. So I'll stop there and let someone else talk.
I just want to say, sorry. The first thing I noticed, because I went and checked these sort of things like red cards, yellow cards, is he doesn't get red cards as much as Romero. So I'm immediately a lot happier. So I'm immediately a lot happier.
He's only had one red card, but go ahead.
So far. Yeah, but he was a bit lucky there, let's be honest. But also looking at his attributes like tackling, it looks like it's his strongest attribute, which is to me really important because for me that's like essential for a centre half. And I do think he could make a good pairing with Van der Ven. So, and I actually think this deal will be done quite quickly because from what I've heard, it's only 26 million. So you would imagine surely it would be quite easy to do, but it's Tottenham, so I don't know.
Yeah, guys, we are Spurs, right? Come on, it's a January transfer window, right? It's the hardest window that you can ever do business in, right? So come on.
Eugene, come on. January's pretty good to us. We got Dele Alli in January. We got Lucas Moura in January. We got Bentancur and Kulusevski in January. And we got Porro in January. So we don't do too bad in a transfer window.
I understand that
only a month to do a deal. You know?
I understand that we don't do too bad during January, but the problem is that we are always slow. You get what I'm saying? When did Bentancur and Decky come into the squad on the 31st? But now I'm saying we need these players.
We need this guy tomorrow, basically.
Yeah, we need him now. We needed him yesterday. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so Ange can work with him during the winter break.
Yeah, and to tell the truth, you know, being a Spurs fan, we've always been linked to all these players, and we never usually get our first two links. So yeah, but if it changes, I'm happy, right? It shows that we're moving forward, right, in the build of our squad at this moment in time. But the thing is that being a Spurs fan at the moment, I'm just sitting back and wait. And like I say, I'm giving the board and the club 7 days, right, to bring these players in, minimum.
They say the end of the week, Eugene. They say by the end of the week.
So do you think they'll parade him before the Burnley game then? Hopefully, because he needs to do that.
Yeah, because apparently Ange is like we need. I mean, Daniel Levy. I have a lot of names for him, but even he can see that. Man, we're starting with Chicken Royale and Ben Davies as our center backs. We need a center back ASAP. This also tells you how they view Phillips and Dorrington. Not to say they have a negative view, but they truly feel that they are not ready because none of them has even had a second on the field. We've seen Valise. We've even seen a cameo from Donnelly, but we have not seen those two guys at all. I know Phillips was injured, but even then, we have not seen him come in. Now, I guess going back to my original point is that, with Tobito, right? Like I said, the guy starts with the French national team, right? The guy is solid. I mean, honestly, I'm gutted that we don't got him. And Dracon could. I mean, I believe Strasbourg Steve. He watches. I mean, I watch Serie A. I just haven't seen. I usually watch Napoli and the Milan games. I haven't seen a game with Genoa, but he says he's really, really good. I believe that is almost like Van de Ven. let's hope he works out, right? But that doesn't mean Tapsoba, who's doing great at Germany, right? Right? Yes, we spent less, but we should have got both of them to
we
Van de
know
Ven
that.
and Tusiba. So it's the same thing with Tobido, right? I'm gonna call him Dragon.
Dragon.
The dragon.
The Dragon could work out. He could work out.
Guy,
But it's for me. What I'm trying to say is, as long as we're a Spurs fan, we will never go for choice A and B. We'll always go for choice C. Dragon will be choice B in this case.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, we would never go for choice A because.
So who is that choice C out there now that we do not know that the club is actually trying to get in?
If this doesn't work out, that's Lloyd Kelly. That's
Lloyd
Kelly.
right. It's probably Lloyd Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah. If this doesn't work out, it seems like from Fabrizio.
But isn't Lloyd Kelly? No, wait, guys. Hold on. Isn't
the
Lloyd
man from
Kelly
your
injured?
neck of the woods, Mari, or Caceres from Team America?
Yeah, it's pretty much this is going to happen, and like I said, I don't want to feel disappointed. But if it does not happen, if it doesn't fall through, I could pretty much it's going to be Lloyd Kelly. But
is Lloyd Kelly injured at the moment? That's my question.
No, he doesn't play that much.
He just doesn't start for them.
Yeah, he doesn't really
He can't even get into the guys. He can't even get into the Bournemouth team.
Yeah.
Oh, scratching my head on that.
Yeah.
But at least he's
I'm
Tosin.
sure.
You know the Tosin guy at Fulham. At least he's at least he can get into the team.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure this is going to go through.
Tosin Adrabaro. Fulham have got the second leg of the semi-final EF Trophy on the 24th of January, so he isn't going nowhere. It's like we were linked with that.
No, I don't want him. It's just someone we
as well, but he's off to AFCON, so you can virtually say.
I really want the Everton centre half, Brantwaite personally.
But Kelly's quick, 5'9". If he's going to play in the centre, I want someone taller.
I'm not sure about Lloyd Kelly though. I mean, like you said, he hasn't had game time at Bournemouth. I mean, because
I don't think he's a good signing.
And guys, we need a centre back who can actually use his head on the ball. You know, right? To be in the right position, you know, to jump with the strikers and attackers to actually hit the ball away instead of the centre backs that we have now, always missing in action when the ball comes in over the top.
Yeah, and I think too, what really impresses me, what I saw from the video, and I went to look at Sofa scores. I went to look his passing. He's okay on the ball. He's pretty good. Yeah. That's what he's got compared to Kim Min-jae. If he could be like, you guys know Kim Min-jae for Napoli. That's my favorite Italian team. I used to live in Napoli for a short time in 2010. He was amazing, and he's doing great in Germany right now with Bayern. If he is similar to Pepe in regards of aggression and Kim Min-jae on the ball, and I'll be all like, are you kidding me? That this is a good signing, and this is something that for me I think is good because I was saying if we get to Beto, this is a situation that we can have sometimes play three at the back. Listen to me, guys. It gives an additional attack method formation for Ange in regards of maybe playing VDV, Romero in the middle, and to Beto, or even Dragon, and then have Joji and Poro bomb forward, and you have Basuma and Madison, in the midfield. Like you could see that happening if in the middle of the game transition. You could actually have that. You could have the opportunity of playing three at the back, not all the time, but having that in your tool belt, having that as an additional weapon.
Guys, but honestly, right? The perfect scenario now, right, in this January transfer window, even if we can't get the striking, the front getting up, I wouldn't mind even getting two centre backs. You get what I'm saying? You bring in Dragerson and plus one more, and you say I wouldn't mind.
What do you think about what I've said about possibly playing three at the back? Because he's pretty good on the ball.
Ange will never do three at the back at the start. You get what I'm saying? his way of
No,
playing.
that's what I'm saying. At the start of the game, but
Yeah.
he could switch it
I mean,
up.
while you're switching it up along, I understand. But you see how we've been playing this whole season, right? Why, when we had VDV and Romero, right, we played a very high line because VDV had the speed to come back to cover. But when we lost VDV and Romero at this moment in time, whenever you see Dyer and what I call Davis being our centre backs, right, and sorry to say now, Emerson, I mean, you know, and Davis, we sit back more. We don't play that high line because we can't cover the ball over the top. That is what, and the fast balls that go through the middle, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
if we do
anybody
get
else
the
could
speed,
jump in
yeah.
that with Torpedo, and even I want to say Osava's show, they even mentioned that the possibility of playing three at the back. I like that, right? Not saying that we're going to play three at the back, but when there are
It's
times
another
where we're
option,
three,
isn't it? Three at the
it's
back.
an
Yeah,
option.
because
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
option.
It's an option.
Well,
Like,
we
Apparently,
could
he
do
plays
that.
a back three. I was
Yeah,
just
Whether
reading.
Ange would do it or not,
Yeah.
we could do it because in Italy, Romero used to step into midfield because he's good on the ball.
At Atalanta, that's why I brought it up.
So,
Exactly, Jim.
it's the thing with Ange in his system. The problem is he likes his two wingers, doesn't he?
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
It's basic an Ange thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Three at the
I
back
mean-
now is not an Ange thing. Yeah.
I mean, I look at it and I see I see it tactically. I like Ange ball, and you've got to stick with it and not change it to the end of the season.
Mhm.
But I'm still uncomfortable with Son out on the left. If Maddison's not injured, I'd like us to be like a bit back in the day when we had Van der Ven in the hole, right, playing behind the main striker.
Van der Vaart, you mean?
Van der
You mean
Vaart, sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
sorry.
No, sorry.
Yeah, and playing it because I think Sonny would be more effective playing in the hole. But that's okay when Maddison's not fit, right? Because then you play your two wingers, you play Richie up front or whatever it is, and I just think that'd be more effective, you know. And then when your right winger breaks, you know, down to the sideline, you've got Sonny and the main striker running forward. You'd have Bentancur charging forward with an inverted fullback on one side, and your left wingers should be coming in at the far post. So you've got 4 to 5 round the penalty area or in the penalty area to receive the ball. Under Conte ball, we never had that. With the wing backs, it worked. We did that at Leeds, didn't we? We went away 4-1. Do you remember when one wing back?
Yeah, 4-1. Yeah.
Past the other wing back, and we got the goal. That's what they're supposed to be doing. So if you're not playing a wing back system, your other winger should be watching whichever winger's got the ball. If he's going to the byline, the other winger should be looking to come in on the far post, no matter who's in the box, you know. And you should have your midfielder breaking and your two forwards, because that way, I think we get two more in a box, because Richarlison's usually isolated. He's one, and yet most teams play with one striker. I just think we could tweak it a little bit to get more goals. But obviously, there's so many permutations what Ange can do when the squad's fully fit. You know, we'll all debate over who should play and what system, and depending on what team.
Adrian, yeah, but to tell the truth, right? At this time, at this moment in time, what I'm seeing is that we need the players who actually can play Ange ball, right, and to play the style that he needs to play. Because at this moment now, what I see Ange is doing is that he's like trying to adapt to what he has, to use the tool that he has in front of him. So we don't see Ange ball after October.
No, we don't.
After the October brilliance, that 10 games that we went unbeaten, you know, blah blah blah, we saw the league. After the injury started to pile in, we don't see Ange ball anymore. I haven't seen Ange ball in a long time. We see glimpse of it, right? But we can't see it, 80% of the time.
No,
Yeah.
we haven't held the halfway line because we haven't. The players are injured for it. But a question for you guys, right? Because this is okay, Ange ball for this system. We're not going to win a league, right? We'll get Europe. We're not going to win a league, right? But on average, since 1992, when the Premier League was inaugurated, we'll exclude Man City because Haaland's a free, could probably only go and be better. It'd be the new Messi, Ronaldo combined, right? It has taken a team that wins the Premier League have had to score 82 goals, right? The reason I'm talking about tweaking the system is because, right, at the moment, right, I think under Ange ball, Son got 17 and a golden boot with Salah. He'll get more. He'll get 20 plus goals, right? Now, good strike rate for wingers is 1 in 4 is under coaching, right? So it's like 10 goals each. So you could say 40 goals. Maddison might chip in with 10 or 12, 52. Your 4 players at the back might chip in with about 3 each, 12. You know, you're now at 64, right? You want 18 goals from midfield. I don't see Sarr scoring too many or Basuma. Bentancur might chip in with 5 or 6. At the moment, if we're talking about a league next year, we urgently need a class striker because we just haven't got 82 goals in us. We haven't got 82 goals. We've got Son. We've got good midfield. No problem with the midfield when everyone's fit. No problem with the back car. Probably got the best Premier League goalkeeper there is. But apart from Son up front, then it's help. Where's the goals coming from?
Yeah, it's always been like that.
Even in midfield.
Yeah, when we had Kane at the time, if Kane was there, Son could cover for Kane, remember? Now we got Son alone. Who's going to cover for Son? That's what we've been seeing, right? The lack of goals is one problem. We need a proven goal scorer. I don't know how you're going to prove that unless you get them in and try them out. We got Valise in, you got the youngsters in. Now I think it's Scarlett's turn to step up. Is how I see it.
The thing I struggle with is Son's their best finisher, left foot and right foot. He will miss chances, but you know he's going to get his share of goals. All strikers miss chances, right? But if you keep laying off chances for Richarlison, he's not going to score the amount of goals in a ratio that Son is. So but Son's not a number 9, is he?
No.
So to me, he's their best striker, but I still think he's wasted on the left, but you can't play him as a number 9. So either you play a front 2. See, this is the thing while I was saying like 2 wingers, 2 midfielders. I mean, 4-4-2 is much maligned. I think that would really suit Son. You know?
Rather than to playing with Richarlison up front, Adrian.
Well, who else we got?
Yeah.
Well, let me get Tish's opinion. Like I said, we've been talking about the window and what we need, and it seems like we're going to get Mr. Dragonson, the Dragon. That's what I'm gonna call him,
hopefully.
the Dragon, the Beast. What do you think about this signing? Is it going to pan out for us? I mean, like I said, he really looks quality. I would say maybe, like I said, Torpedo is a little bit better than the ball, and but we might be sitting on another gem. What do you think, Ratish?
Yeah, I think with the Dragonson deal, I think if we was to get over the line, then it would be perfect for us. I feel there's so many green ticks to his name, like, as you could see, watching the video, he's very good with tackling, he's not afraid of making a pass forward. His pass completion rate is impressive in a high 80%. So I think if he's the one player that will calm the nerves, like if especially when we play a high line, he's the one player that will be cool and composed. We brought Van der Ven in the summer, and he settled in quickly. So we'll hopefully be more of the same for Dragonson. But I think whenever we bring new players, especially from another country, that you need time, of course, to adapt. It's the Premier League. To step up from Serie A, you have to learn the language. But I think in the good team morale that we have at the moment, I think that would really suit him to a T. So that is for sure. And you mentioned Fred at the back earlier, Maury. It's a good option to have in terms of another tactic, because if we was to go over back 3, for instance, you could have your Dragonson, Romero, and VDV, and then you can have Porro and Udogie bombing forward, in an attacking aspect. And
exactly.
So that's a good luxury to have, but it's about finding the right balance for sure. And this transfer window is important. By the way, forgot to mention Happy New Year to all of you and everyone in the
Happy
chat.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, guys. Yeah. So I think this transfer window, it's only open. Of course, for us, we all wanted to get it. If we're serious enough, we want to get it done as quickly as we can. With Daniel Levy, he has a tendency to leave it to the last second or the 30th or the 31st, like the Porro scenario last year. We had the Porro deal in the bag, and then we had to wait to the 31st or thereabouts to unveil him. So there is a lingering doubt, but for now, Dragonson deal looks promising for sure. And Genoa initially wanted 30 million, but now it's 25. I think Haas might have covered it earlier. So, so it's a good deal for us. That is for certain.
Yeah. No, I like I said, if we are able to pull this in within this week, it's a good start, but it's still, like I said, it's still the same tactics that Spurs will use. And even Derby Orstein, his interview with NBC Sports yesterday, he says, we're going to be very creative, and so it goes into the next couple of topics. Striker, midfielder. We already got. I posted this question. No Gallagher. Gallagher has says that he will say no to any team that approaches him. People have mixed views on Gallagher. My view is he's doing okay for Chelsea. He's better than what pick a midfielder that's not Madison and and a matter of fact, right now the way Gallagher is playing, Lo Celso is playing now, so you might as well. But again, it's an extra body. I'd rather have him than Skip and Hoiberg. So it's no Gallagher. Striker, to be honest, I don't think we're bringing in another forward or striker in, because we called back Scarlett, right? Why? Well, there's a reason why that we called him back, and it's just I think Andrew's going to have to work with what he has, while Sonny is gone for the Asian Cup games, and I think he's going to have to work with what we have, because right now we're not really seriously linked to anybody other than Gallagher. And it was reported today Gallagher is like no. Anybody's opinions on the forward line or the midfield?
I think a striker we won't sign 100%. We won't get one. I think they'll wait till the summer to do that, because we might have European football. So, but I still think we need like a winger.
Are you thinking Jota on loan?
Yeah.
That might be the only move.
But guys, okay, if you're talking about Gallagher, right? I like Gallagher when he was playing for Crystal Palace. You get it? I saw a more creative Gallagher.
Yeah.
Now I see a Gallagher who is like, not the same Gallagher that was in Crystal Palace, doing things, creating things, right? Why? If you're talking about wingers, why wouldn't we go for like an Eze or an Olise, right? From Crystal Palace.
Man, we need to go after Olise. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah,
I would.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. But as this moment in time, if we don't move on, either Skip or Højbjerg, right, the midfield will be congested. We'll have like 6-7 midfielders or 8 midfielders coming in.
But you say that, but we're losing 2 of them to AFCON.
Yeah, but for 1 month. But the thing is, but I said we need the players. I don't mind having 2. I wouldn't mind having Gallagher coming. I mean, a midfielder coming in. But like yesterday we did the show with Stel and all that. Dean was saying, why would Gallagher come to us? It's like asking, Harry Kane going to Chelsea again. He's one of theirs. He came from the youth academy. He went all the way up. Will he really want to come here, right? But at this point, if we bring in Gallagher, what are we going to use him at, right? Are we going to use him as a backup, or for Madison, or are we going to play him in a different role, the holding 6 or the 8 or the box to box?
I think he can play as an 8 or as a 10. I don't know about the 6.
I don't want him. I mean, when everyone's fit, we don't know what the shape of the squad is. You're allowed to bring in 3 players to add to your squad in the January window, no more. I dare say you can bring in youngsters or loan players as well. I'm not sure for the rules on that, but that would be if they were going in the academy. But you look at it. If Decky comes in midfield, you've got him and Lo Celso. You've got Basuma, Sarr, Bentancur, Madison. That's 6 midfielders, right? All right, we don't know whether Lo Celso is going to stay or not. I don't feel the church squad. We don't need him. And if you're going to pay 40 to 50 million pounds for Gallagher, go to Feyenoord and buy him and his now. Get him in now. Or pay 60 mil, put a down paper down and go and get Vlahovic, right? Now. Because it's not about the full amounts. Everybody says, oh, yeah, Spurs won't pay that. I get what they're saying in the past, but we have paid it. We paid 40 odd million for Sanchez. We paid the money for Lo Celso. We paid the money for Dembele, right? We paid the money for Richardson. We do pay the money, but it's how the payment
You
is.
just don't choose very well.
Not like if the player's 60 million, we ain't got 6. We don't have to have 60 million. What we need to have is to give the club a down payment of, say, 15 million and structure the payments.
Yeah, it's always done.
We need a striker in more than a midfielder. First, get the centre back in, and then we need to get a striker in. That's just my opinion. And we could still get Jota on loan as well, but otherwise, if we get a midfielder in, we're gonna have a bloated midfield. Do you know how many players we've got that we could get rid of? Right?
I know your list. The 14 players that you were talking about yesterday.
Look, we had Dyer 1, Lloris 2's gone, Roden 3, Spence 4, Reguilon 5, Sessegnon 6, Perisic 7, Tanganga 8, and Dembele 9. Lo Celso possibly 10.
I'll keep Lo Celso personally.
Skip, Højbjerg, and Emerson. That's 14. Now I know some will, we ain't going to get rid of 14 players. We'll get money for some of them though.
What happened to Adrian?
I want to address this quickly. Big up Keith. He says I'll address this. Big up Jeff. Levy only signs the check. It's the new sporting director, his team, and Ange that will find, negotiate, and bring in new players. Jeff. Oh boy, you have a lot to learn. If you think the narcissist, the egomaniac that is Daniel Levy is only going to allow people, his team, if that was the truth, honestly, if that was the truth, Tobido will be here. But it's not. It is not. The buck stops at Daniel Levy, and that's all I'm going to say.
If that was the truth, right, we already gotten Tapsoba and VDV last summer transfer window. That's how I see it. But nah, Jeff, I understand, right? A lot of people just think that he signs the check, but I think he puts in a lot of input on what kind of players we want. But at the moment now, make sure that the players are coming in, right? Is what Ange needs, and we actually know what kind of players we need. Being fans, we see it, we know, and Ange knows that we know that we need the centre backs to cover what we have at this moment, right? And as it goes on, while this part comes back to what Adrian had on his list, right? That 14 players, how are we going to get rid of them? If we could just sell each one, right, at an average price of about £5 million, right? 14 players there. How much money will we have, guys? Think about it, right? We'll have 70 million, to play around with. But the problem is that
you could buy it, yeah.
Yeah, but we can't. We can't.
We severely cut the wage bill to release more money.
Yeah, and then you cut the wage bill to release more money, get more players in. But at this moment in time, like I've been saying, the January transfer window has never been. I mean, in product-wise, yes, we get good players in. We're not saying that we always got shit in, but most of the time, right, it's always a gamble. We are lucky this summer. Udogi, Sa, VDV, Vicario slotted in perfectly for us this summer. We are so lucky to have that. We didn't have that kind of, I could say, luck, right, in the past 20 years, where 4 players just slots into the team and be able to play the ball that the manager wants. And maybe because it's the new manager coming in with that kind of philosophy, picking out the players that can actually understand his philosophy and do a job for him, right? That's why I go back again. After when we lost that key players like, VDV, Romero and all that, right? When we brought in players who can't play the ball that he has to play, he has to, adapt. That's why after October, we've been on a rough patch since then.
Why don't we? I mean, Keith Hubert there makes an excellent point in his post there.
Yeah.
Paulo Dybala is 30 going on 31. He's got a £13 million release clause. The Italian clubs are struggling for money. Because Velez is now injured, you could bring Dybala in for 13 mil, even if you're only going to keep him for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, Adrian. You're right, because Dybala has got a good track record, isn't he? He can score goals. He's a very good presence up front.
And you bet
But guys,
Perisic has mentioned that because he's got his hands all over the Radu Dragons deal anyway.
Apparently,
No,
he's
but
a
the
new
thing is that
personal
Dybala,
trainer,
right?
so-
Think about it, guys. Dybala 6 years ago, he was supposed to join us. You know, we were all so hyped up about it, and then then what happens now after that? You know, when he's 31, do you think hard to say if we really need
World Cup, you know?
yeah, if we really need that striker, right, and go and get him, right? The question is that will Levy
What
go
about
and do it?
Vlahovic? Would you guys take Vlahovic?
Yeah, I would.
You see the
Tomorrow.
answer, though,
He's
really,
perfect.
in this system.
He's perfect for the end system.
And yeah, and Vlahovic, we were linked to him
Right from midfield,
4
take
years
his
ago.
player on, he drifts left and right through the middle. I mean, I just think he'd be perfect for end system.
Don't you think he's too slow, though?
No, but what's the cost, guys?
I don't know.
70?
I don't know.
You're looking in the range of 70 million pounds for a player
No,
in January.
no. He didn't cost that much when it comes out. Atlanta or was it Fiorentina?
Fiorentina, yeah, to
Is
Juve,
he-
yeah, at the time.
He didn't cost them that much because he wanted to go there.
Yeah, but I'm saying now, if we're going to get him, are we going to spend that kind of money in the January transfer window?
I think
right.
you'd get him for 50 in Italy.
I mean, Liverpool did it, but that's Liverpool. So
Yeah, we're not Liverpool has, right?
when they got Van Dijk, remember, was it 75 million or something?
75.
Yeah, 75 million, and then last
From
January they
Southampton or
Cody
something like that, if I'm
Gakpo.
not mistaken.
How much was Gakpo?
Oh, close to that too, I think.
Was it?
I
Was
think-
it? Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, it
45?
could be 40. Yeah, around that. Yeah, ballpark.
Yeah.
Yeah, 45, 50 from PSV.
Okay, go back to our history, right? How much have we ever spent on the high end in the January transfer window?
Well, if we're talking relative to the time, the only time I remember spending big, let's say quote unquote, was under Redknapp, where we were 2 points from 8 games. And then we brought back Defoe, Keane, Chimbonda, Palacios. Like in that time period, that was relatively like a big spend for us.
Yeah.
I think
Oro was probably our biggest recent one, isn't he? January.
yeah, that's one, I guess.
One
But
single
this-
player. Yeah, Poro is about 40, 45, right? Yeah, that's true. See, we have our limits and we know that. And
But that was the only window I remember us going in that time period. If we consider the prices going sort of big because he was desperate to buy players, just keep us up.
yeah,
I mean, we got Defoe and Keane in the same window,
yeah.
and then he brought in Palacios, who was a brilliant. And unfortunately, obviously, what happened with his brother didn't help later on in his career.
Yeah.
But he was a brilliant signing at the time, I remember. And then obviously got Chimbonda back. And I think he signed someone else, but I can't remember now. But it was like a lot of players in one window. And
Crancher.
quite a big-
Was it Crancher? Nico?
No, that was the January afterwards.
Oh, that's January afterwards. Okay.
Yeah, and we got it for 2 million, didn't we, Cranjo, or something? 2 to 4
Mm.
million, something cheap like that.
Yeah, they were all we basically just raided Portsmouth, right?
Yeah, Redknapp just raided Portsmouth. We brought back
Yeah.
Kabul as well.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was
the
like January or in the
Kabul.
summer. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But
Kabul
coming
was-
coming to this kind of scenario at this point of time and how we've been supporting the club, understanding how our club acts and reacts, right? So that's what I'm saying. If this transfer window, right, I'll give it maximum to the 15th, or no, not maximum to the 15th, to the 10th, maximum to the 10th. Ideally, by this first week of January, we should get at least one centre back, right, coming in, and maybe the attacking side of it, it can drag on a bit longer for one or
I don't
one
think
week
we
or
need
so.
more than one centre back though, because I think Dorrington and Phillips.
But not
If they
yeah,
come
for
back,
game time, though.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well,
That's a good.
yeah.
Because Ashley Phillips, if you think about it, Ashley Phillips hasn't had opportunities so far, but obviously he's been injured, so you might as well be better off with a new centre back. Because if we sign 2 centre backs as an example, then it'll take up too much space. So.
There's been enough shouting about the pathway from the academy through to the first team.
But guys, okay, come and think about it, right? This Friday we're playing Burnley in the FA Cup, correct?
Yeah.
Will you think Andrew actually, tinker with
Play
it?
the youngsters.
I want to see. No, we don't have to. We don't have to, because after the Burnley game on the Friday, it's 9 days before we play Man United away. So we can go strong Friday, right? We can go in strong. And because
okay.
I want us to do that, but he won't. I think he'll rest
let's say the
players.
defense. Let's say the defense, right? Now we know we have a problem with defense, correct? Because more or less our midfield, we got Bentancur back, we got Lo Celso there, right? We can use Højbjerg as a holding or Skip as a holding to play there. We're not too worried about that scenario. The defense, we worry about the defense scenarios because that we're playing Emerson and Davis, right, as centre backs. Guys, that's so scary. You get what I'm saying?
Williams
Well,
can't make
hang
me
on,
laugh.
be fair.
Sorry.
Davis played well. Davis has played
No,
well in the last
I
5
understand.
games.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't
I understand.
drop
But it's still a
You-
scary.
Hey guys,
Emerson,
sorry, I
I don't
stepped
mind Emerson
away.
going out. I don't
I
mind
stepped
Emerson
away.
going
No
out.
problem. No problem. Right.
I
What
stepped
I'm
away
saying-
for a second because I just
No,
got
no
an
problem.
update
Don't
on
mind
my
Emerson going out.
fiance's.
What I would like to see in
brother-in-law.
midfield now that
Yeah,
Kulu's not.
how's your fiance's father doing?
No, he's doing
Everything
okay. Yeah, he's recovering well. So just got news.
Oh, that's good to hear. That's
But I just want to respond to this, Jeff. I totally understand. No war of words. It's not hate for Levy because hate is such a strong word. Because for
I
me,
don't hate.
I don't hate anybody.
No.
For me, I
don't
can't speak for anybody else. Because if you have hate in your heart, it makes you unhealthy.
That's
But
true.
I have a dislike and I have distrust. That I do have for Levy. 23 years of proof is in the pudding. And for me, I just find it very hard to believe for a guy like that to concede that power. Yes, he's hired the people, but when it comes down to the final say, the man still has it. But we could agree to disagree. But I just wanted to just mention that.
Mm,
Yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Exactly.
most fans are the same opinion. I mean, it's
Yeah.
you only poison your soul by hating anything,
Yeah,
So
we
I
don't
don't
believe in
think
hate.
so,
I don't
yeah.
believe in hate, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure we all support the team before we even think about the board and all that. I'm always going to support the team no matter what the board is. The team come first to me, and my club.
exactly that. Yeah,
So,
exactly that.
So, but the Burnley thing, I'd be very bold. I mean, Son's away, so I'd bring Gill in. So you got Gill, Richarlison, and Johnson. My midfield three, this is going to excite you, would be Lo Celso, Kulusevski, and Bentancur.
Mm,
And
okay.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind switching Emerson for a Dorrance or a Phillips. And I
Yeah,
think
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
get time. I mean, and I can see Scarlett being on the bench with Donnelly as well, because we've got no other striking options basically, unless we promote Sunsup, Bell, Lancashire, Santiago.
Mikey Moore, that's his thing.
He's a bit young.
Yeah,
though.
that's too young.
It's mental.
No, that's what I'm saying, Adrian. That's what I'm saying. In that defense, right? I want to see some changes, like putting Phillips there with Davis. At least Philip will have the speed to go up and down, and then Davis will have the experience to anchor it.
Yeah,
right?
you
I wanna
need the
see
experienced player behind him.
anchor him, and give the young boy, a taste of Premier League football, because we're playing Burnley. Even though Burnley, wherever they are now, it's still a Premier League team.
If we
You get
got
what I'm
the game won by half time, I can see him giving him game time. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
think he'll
no.
start because, like I said, we got 9 days before the Man United game away, and Van der
Mm.
Ven will be back for that one, apparently, if not the
Yeah.
game after. So,
I know, but what I'm saying, another thing is, how would you see it in a sense of, during the Carabao Cup, we played our second team, Fulham played their second team, their second team played us off the park. During the Brighton game, I considered that game the same thing. We played our second stringers, right? Most of the second stringers out there. Brighton played their second stringers out there. They played us off the park. You get what I'm saying?
the difference against Bournemouth to me when I was watching it, right? I was at the game.
I'm saying Brighton, not Bournemouth. I'm saying Brighton. Yeah.
But
then we
okay,
played with Bournemouth,
Brighton, Brighton's good. I'll use the same example, right?
Mm.
Now in theory, right, we've got better quality than them, but we're going with a 2-man midfield usually against teams that play us, whether we're home or away. They've got at least 4 or 5 in midfield, or if it's 5 in midfield, they'll drop back to a 5 when they're defending, right, and then shield the back 5, right. So if we ain't on, what happens is we start quickly, and then what happens, because the opposing teams have got more midfielders, they gradually get a grip on the game and get on top of us and push us back and then bully us back. And then what Brighton did, because they kept hitting the left winger and all that, but to get behind us, but because Matoma weren't playing and they ain't got a great deal of pace rather, what they do is move the ball quickly. And it was easier to pass through us because they had more in midfield. And Bournemouth did the same thing. Bournemouth did the same thing because we had 2. We missed Sar's energy when he went off. And I know not all Spurs fans are on the Kulu bandwagon, but we missed the out ball to him to hold the ball up. And I thought Richie had a good game as a number 9. I thought he held the ball up really well, right? Missed a sitter. Mind you, had Gill missed that sitter and put the header on the bar, be like beggar's belief. It was harder not to score. But no, and that's what's happening. We're getting overrun in midfield. Our midfielders got to be on point, and they got to be, and we ain't got the quality ones there. Otherwise, like Basuma would break the press, Maddison would, Bentancur would, but Skip and Højbjerg, they're all right in a defensive block, mid block, low block, but they're not going to beat that. They'll beat it now and again, but then you need quality players who are going to accurately pass the ball. And we keep being sloppy and giving the ball away.
Sorry to interrupt you, Adrian.
I think if it wasn't for
sorry to interrupt, guys. Let's keep it clean in the chat. Jeff has his opinion. Let's just keep it clean. All right, guys.
Yeah,
It's new
there's
year.
no need for that, Mark.
Let's just keep it clean. Go ahead, Adrian, or Has.
Yeah,
no,
yes,
I was just saying. Go on.
I think without Lo Celso, we wouldn't have won that game.
No, he was probably a man of the match.
Yeah.
I'd be tempted to give it a Richarlison as well.
No, guys, it wasn't raining.
Again.
Yeah, no, I think
Richarlison was brilliant as well.
I credit it to the rain, guy. It's all because of the rain. The rain was too heavy, and Bournemouth couldn't see the goal, right? And they just couldn't shoot properly, right? And we played better in the rain this time, so the credit goes to the rain.
But I think Lo Celso proved like we can't get rid of him because he can play basically all across the midfield, and not just that. I prefer him personally as an 8 to a 10, but he came in and did a job as a number 10 as well. Like obviously not to like the levels of Maddison,
because he's got another year left on his contract. I know Barca were coming in from they wanted him, but they were taking the piss. Because if you recall, after the World Cup, he was injured, so McAllister took his place in the Argentinian squad. Brighton sold him to Liverpool for 35, 36 million, right? And Barca want to offer us 15 million or something for Lo Celso. They can go and do one. We can keep him. We can hold him to his contract. If it runs out, it runs out. But by that time, if he's as happy as all the other players are,
I think we should give him a new contract, Adrian.
Then he probably would sign if he knows he's going to get a proportion of game time there.
That's true.
But we're going to have an abundance of riches in midfield when everyone's fit.
Because I think he's just always, for me, Skip and Højbjerg are the two midfielders which are sort of disposable, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
but the thing is,
Basuma and Bentancur be used as sixes in the system, so you can go buy someone who can play all across the threes again. Which is why someone like Gallagher has been mooted. I guess it's not going to happen now.
You could sell Skip. The homegrown's not an issue. We got 11 homegrown, right?
Yeah, but and then as you see it now, right? I see one thing about Højbjerg is that he's not the old Højbjerg we know. You guys saying, right?
He's played a lot of football though, Eugene.
Yeah, and he's played a lot of football throughout this past few years. He's been played in nearly every game since the Mourinho era. But I think it's that once your heart is not in it, maybe he's wanting a move, right? And you can see the performances wise is gone down a bit, right? We don't see that Højbjerg fire in him anymore. So
I kind of disagree though a bit, Eugene. I actually think he's been quite professional because
if you
look at the old systems though under Conte,
and maybe the system doesn't suit him. Yeah.
Under Conte and Mourinho, he shone especially in those systems, especially with Jose, because we played a low block, so naturally he's gonna be more prominent because he's gonna make more tackles. And obviously he'll just give the ball to someone else and they'll go forward. In this system, because it's more, I'm not saying his passing is rubbish, by the way, or anything like that, but it's more progressive. He has to play more variation of passes, and I don't think he has the same, variation to someone else. Like, he would be better for the system. I'm not saying he's a bad player, though. Every time he's come in, he's actually done, like, a really good job.
Yeah, he's been put there to do a job that needs to be done.
But I don't think he's, like, we need to just move on for him. Same with
Romero could do a better job in midfield than Højbjerg and Skip. He's much technically better on the ball, better than either of those two. He could play as a deep line central defensive midfielder, maybe not one to sort of box 6. We expect to play as a quarterback and, progress you up the field, but he could do that. No, Højbjerg and Skip aren't good enough, and neither's Emerson. So,
Emerson. No, we don't want to go to Emerson, right?
Yeah, let's not talk about
let's not talk about Emerson. Oh dear.
I think actually Phillips should be given an opportunity against Burnley this Friday. I think
either Phillips or Dorrington. Put him in.
We've got 3 English homegrown keepers in Forster, Whiteman, and Austin.
Yes.
Then you've got Maddison, Skip, Johnson, and Davies homegrown. That's 7. Then you've got Roden and Spence at Leeds. That's 9. Sessegnon's 10, and I'm missing someone I can't think of at the moment, right?
Mm.
But we've got 11 homegrown, so you could sell Skip and Højbjerg. But I thought what was quite telling was the fact when Forster was given another year on his contract, because that tells me that although Brandon Austin is the under-21 goalkeeper, I've seen Whiteman play. I wasn't impressed.
Don't worry, it's from the previous.
So it told me, well, that shows that there isn't the confidence in Whiteman and Austin's 24 now as well, which reading between the lines tells me that Josh Keeley's going to be number 2 to Vicario at the end of next season. Because if you haven't got confidence in Austin now, he's 24, you're not going to have it. He should. We've been here.
No, that's completely wrong. No, sorry.
There's good things about our young players. I've watched the academy games on Spurs play, right? But we ain't had no rave reviews about Austin and Whiteman, have we? It's all about all the other players, mainly the defenders and the attackers in the under-21s, right? It's mainly them. So I think Josh Keeley does look a prospect though, when you watch him play. He does. He's made some fun.
The thing with the second choice keeper, though, is that you either pick someone who's young and you think is going to take over, or you pick someone who's old and is happy to sit on the bench.
Yeah, to be the backup. You understand? So
it has to be one of two things.
Yeah.
But then that's why it's very hard to pick up someone who United tried to do it when they had Henderson. Was it Henderson they had? I think, and they just had him with someone else. But Henderson got fed up with not playing.
Yeah.
We're not
Henderson,
playing.
De Gea,
and then he left. So you could. Two ways you can play it, but I don't know.
See, I don't think when you have to put the list of 25 members for your squad in January, I think it's within 2 weeks the window closing. I know that's in the summer. I assume it's the same in January unless it's less time.
Yep. 31st.
I think Perisic will be off that list. Lloris will be off that list. Right? And Dembele will be off that list.
Hopefully.
So we can bring foreign players in. It's not an issue. And we can only bring 3 in. That's why I've only named 3. Right? So they'll be off the list. So, yeah. I mean,
Adrian, did you say we can only bring in 3 foreign players?
Yeah. No. You're allowed 17, aren't you? And 8 homegrown. We've got about 11 homegrown if you're keeping a dross, right? And that I know of. I'm not sure how old Parrott is, whether he's 21 or not. He's doing all right at Excelsior, though. He's got some.
So let me ask you guys this question. Because, like I said, we'll talk about the January window and how many people do you think, give me a number, that we are going to sign? I'll start. I say 2. I'll say Dragosin. And then probably some, because I can't think of, it could possibly Jota alone or some bad saying, obscure winger. I think we're only going to make 2 signings. Vitesh, you go next.
I'd agree actually. I think ideally I would say 3, but 2. So if we Dragosin, if we get it over the line, and the wingers, so someone like a Jota or even a Jadon Sancho, if that's plausible. So yeah, I think 2 players at the very least. I mean, third one, if I was to think of a third one, it's definitely midfield. I don't think we'll get Gallagher. So I'm not sure who's out there in the market, but I'll just put 2 for now, and then 3 if I can come up with a solution. But yes, 2 for me.
But to tell the truth, right, guys, ideally for us, it's always been. I mean, at this moment, you can have 3, you can have 4. That'll be ideal for us, right, to cover all the cracks that we have, right?
It's off.
I got a funny feeling we might even get 1 across the line this season because of the way that things are going. Are we going to spend the kind of money to get just that 1 person, or are we going to get in more loan deals to cover the cracks? And to tell the truth, like the signs are already there, right? We ain't going to get a striker because we're really bringing Dane Scarlett back to give him a chance. You get what I'm saying? There's some signs there. Most probably that has been wiped out. We have only been linked to Gallagher as the midfield cover, right? 1 player. If Højbjerg leaves, if Højbjerg and Skip doesn't go anywhere, we'll just get 1.
How about Calvin Phillips? Don't you think that's could happen?
I don't think so. We ain't going to go for Calvin. Will Calvin Phillips fit into an Ange Ball system? Does he have it? That's another question.
I don't know because he hasn't played for like a year already.
Yeah, he's I think his biggest mistake was going to Man City.
Yeah, Has,
I
I'm glad
think-
you mentioned that. I think that's why I thought initially as my midfield, ideally go for a Calvin Phillips. I know at Man City didn't work out for him, but that's what happens if you go to a big club and don't
He
get
might
game
go to
time.
PSG. He might go to PSG. Is it PSG or I forgot Newcastle?
Now they
Yeah.
call him Dracula in the chat. I think they're talking about Dracula.
Dracula.
Because he's Romanian. Dracula's Romanian. That's why. That's the reference. Yeah.
Vlad the Impaler, yeah. Going
Yeah.
back to those days.
From Vlad Kirikesh. I don't want
Yeah. How many,
Yeah,
how many-
I
how
think-
many do you think you'll get,
Yes.
Hez? How many do you think you'll get? And then I'll come to mine.
Okay, so I agree with the rest of the panel too. I think will be 2. I think we'll get the Dragon or Dracula, however we want to call him at this point. And I think we'll get. I don't actually think we'll get a forward player. I actually think we'll get a midfielder. I don't know why I just have this feeling we'll get someone in. It will be like Calvin Phillips or someone like that. And I think because Højbjerg, I think is definitely going to go, and they won't not sign someone. I think they'll bring someone in.
I think we'll get 3 because and my reason is based on the fact we're going to get this deal done for the Dragon early, and there's a reason for that to get in. So we're definitely getting 2, whatever happens, right? We have been linked with Stanisai Dumba Muzamba, the 18-year-old Ajax right-footed winger who played against Man United in Europe, didn't he? I mean, he looks very tricky, but he's in the last year of his contract, so it's a typical Spurs deal because he could sign for someone in January, I think, and he's not going to re-sign with Ajax. He's a possibility. Funny as we've been linked with another winger, Ronnie Bargi from FC Co. He's left-footed right winger. The kid I would like, though, is Arthur Vermeeren. I'd like him. Yeah. He's a baller. He's man of the match against Barcelona for his club, Royal Antwerp. Right-footed central, sort of defensive central midfielder, being compared with Iniesta. He would be good. But these are sort of... I haven't gone for big name on the wish list because, you won't get them. We don't need a midfielder. I hope it's smoke and mirrors around Calvin Phillips and Colin Gallagher. Because like I said earlier, you're going to pay 50 million, not in one go. Go get Jimenez, take a chance on them, or go and get Dybala in. Go and get him for 13 mil for a couple of years. He's a quality footballer.
That's a short term, That's a short term thing.
He's
I
a
don't think they're doing
short-term
short term
fix.
anymore, though. Really.
Yeah, and the other thing that goes against him, Ange likes young. He likes young. And we have been licked with Takaku, centre-back, and the other one, Mochida, a Japanese centre-back.
Oh, yeah. We were linked with Hyung-Min Chan today as well.
So, but I don't think we don't need 2 centre-backs. We only need 1.
Wolves.
And we're moving early. So, if we're going to get a midfielder in, get the guy from Coney Marnie. Is he from Bristol?
Coney,
Or go for the guy
from Germany.
What about Frank Kessie?
Is it? Is a 20.
Adrian. The tough thing about it is, and this is where we got into a disagreement with Jeff on the chat. We don't have that ambition because we're always looking for a bargain deal. We're not the team to go say, Kone, let's get him before all the other big clubs get him. To put up down a price to force the hand of that club if they want to sell Kone. It's the same thing with Nice, right? Nice is talking to Chelsea about Tobita, right? The report is they're not going to sell him, but they're open negotiations with Chelsea. So in the say, no, we're not negotiating with you because you're not serious about our player. It's the same thing. Olise, right? I would love for him to be at Spurs. I think Ange would do wonders with this guy.
But
we're not the team. We're not the team to say, bam.
Nice are involved in the championship.
We want this guy because we believe that this guy is going to help us. We're not that team to do that.
Chelsea won't get to Bieber. Chelsea won't get to Debo though, because the simple reason Nice are involved in the championship, right? They're close.
Money talks.
Going there, and Chelsea have got FFP issues. They've got to sell before they buy. If Todibo goes, it'll be in the summer to a club when they queue up for him. I don't see Todibo going. I mean, you could be right. They might spring something out, sell someone quickly, Chelsea, and get him in because they'll be able to offer more money than us. But we have got the money, though. We've got the Kane money, and the other 50 million we ain't put in the bank. That's over 130 million. But we're pleading poverty. You don't go shouting about how much money you've got. You're on mute, Eugene.
That 50 million, right, that came from that purchase of whatever shares, right, didn't turn up because you know why? In that deal was we were supposed to draw it all out by the end of last season or last season in January. It's still it's not, you can't touch it anymore.
Yeah, you can. It's still there.
I mean, if
you can raise the money, you got to declare it the company's house because Spurs have got 30,000 shareholders. You know what I mean? So you got
no. What I'm saying is that 150 million drawdown. One of the conditions was it was supposed to be used for that 1 year. We used 100. Yeah, the other 50 we didn't use it. So if they want to use it, if they want to use it,
they haven't taken that money back. If it's used, they get an extra percentage, a small percentage of their holding in Spurs if it's used. But it's still there. It can be used. It can be used.
But yeah, if they want to, but the problem is
that, excluding that, then just forget that.
Yeah, just forget about that. That doesn't
86 million for Kane was sure profit, right? Kane didn't cost us a penny, right?
No, guys, you're wrong.
There. We would still have had a transfer policy if Kane hadn't been sold. Would have still been looking for players this January. So the money's there, right? There is.
We know the money is there. We have more than enough money to buy a lot of players if we want to. But it's always that they say that we don't have the money, right? To tell the truth, right? What I saw last summer is that we already spent the Kane money, right, before even Kane being sold, right? And like you said, the 86 million doesn't come in one lump sum. You get what I'm saying? Bayern Munich ain't going to pay us the 86 million one lump sum. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
We'll get a part of it.
What hasn't been spent. But you do what other clubs do. When you go to your bankers and say, look, we've got this money coming in, they will lend you the money on the strength of that.
But to tell the truth, that's why our club never does it, right? We won't go to the bank and get more cash to go.
We're not really forward thinking. That's the problem.
That's why we all know that, right? You want to argue how much money we have in the bank to buy players? I tell you, we could go and sign another Messi if we want to. You can say, but
apparently Spurs can spend 400 million without breaching FFP.
Yeah, FFP. Because we can spend up to 440 million pounds without breaching FFP, but we never go that way, right? Why we can do it? It's because all these years we never spent.
We never spent when we were White Hart Lane. We never spent when we were here. So it's not like, when they suddenly didn't sign anyone.
And then it's not to say that we never spent, right? We did spend, right? But we got in draws and shit. Sorry.
We normally make it break even each window anyway, most of the time anyway.
And apart from that, I think this summer window is the only window I've seen for quite a long time where, like I've been saying earlier, right? The players come in and they all just
gel.
Fit in like a glove and gel together and play the ball that what Ange wants.
For me, I know you guys are going for a striker, but I'm going to champion this till he bloody moves. But we need to go get that Brandthwaite from Everton because in a year he'll be worth.
Harry, Brandthwaite is already £100 million. Everton has already going to smack that amount on him already.
I was reading 70-75 actually, but
I don't think I don't think Everton may want to do anything with us because they feel like they got shortchanged. This is the reason why they got in trouble. The Charleston deal.
They're making excuses.
They were in trouble.
No, because apparently Brandthwaite is a long-term target for Tottenham. I was reading, but if it would get it done now, because if we leave it, he's just gonna. The queue's going to get longer, because Bayern Munich already watching him.
No, the queue is already there.
Bayern Munich is already watching him, so we need to go get him now.
I also expect a left field signing. The reason I say that is because it's interest here among us, right? We know about the Dragon, we get him in, and now, unless there's people in the chat can throw some in, we're all struggling to pick a midfielder or a striker to come to us if we got the money available to buy him.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me that their recruitment team haven't been. Look, they don't sit around all the season doing nothing and wait to January to go after players, right? So obviously, and Paratici will be involved. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a left field signing from Italy, right, on top of the Dragon, right, from Genoa. But so, there's smoke and mirrors. I just don't see Calvin Phillips or Conor Gallagher Ange mate said he's liked them, and it's all going in the papers because they've got nothing else to print. But we don't need either of them. We don't need either of them.
Yeah, I think with the striker thing, I think sensible thing is we can wait till the summer to get a 25-goal striker because, in the short term, I think January, as much as we want to get a centre forward, I think we just have to make do with the attack we got. So in the summer, like if we get into Europe, then we should be in the hunt for a striker who's capable of scoring 20, 25 goals, really.
Unless Scarlett or Donnelly do the business before the end of the season.
Well, we've been linked with Huang, the Wolf striker, isn't it? Huang Hee-chan. Is he a striker or like a forward?
Yeah, striker. Wow.
Yeah, but if the money if you can, this is the thing you see. This is a problem with the British tax, isn't it? You're going for a British player, and there's a premium price on him, right? Now, if he's British, even if he's foreign playing for a Premier League team, they seem to want a premium price from, quotes of 60 million for Guehi and people like that. I mean, no, thank you, right? Or even Anderson at Palace and things like that, centre back. But for that, you can go abroad and get quality and better. I mean, at Leverkusen now, I think Hincapi wasn't getting many games, left-footed centre back, 23 years of old, because Tar and Tapsoba are playing for them, right? There are quality players out there. Like I say, that midfielder at Borussia Mönchengladbach, it's a good midfielder. I mean, I think we are looking. It wouldn't surprise me if we got a Vermeeren in. I'd like to get him in. I know he's 18, but he does look so good. I mean, because that would be a bit more left field. That would be a bit left field, but I think Ange looks for sort of like players that are sort of 25 and under.
At the moment, yeah, as we can see it, right?
But does he, or is it just because it's a Spurs transfer policy?
No, it could be, it's always been our policy, right? But the problem is that
if you play on a high line, I just think you need younger players. I mean, when Poch was at Spurs, he got rid of a load, and then we had the youngest team in the Premier League, didn't we? So for a couple of seasons, I'm just surmising. I mean, like, it's hard.
I think Hincapi is a good player to bring up. I didn't realise he wasn't getting games though.
He wasn't.
We were linked to Hincapi last season too.
I think they switched to a back four and playing Tar and Tapsoba instead of him.
He was also left back as well.
I'm not really up to speed with. I don't follow it at all, to be honest.
But coming to talk about the transfer window again, it's like, we're going back to, is it going to be quick, right? Or is it going to be too quick? Are we going to be lucky? Will they adapt to the Premier League? Can they do this? Can they do that? The questions are all out there, and the thing is that at this moment now, will our youth get a chance to be pushed up to the first team to have a try, right? If we don't need these players, what are we going to do? If Højbjerg leaves, are we going to get in a replacement? Who is that replacement going to be? So it comes down to, in the end of the day, what we see as fans that the club needs, the squad needs, right? We can see it very clearly. If we can see it very clearly, I'm sure, right, the people working in the club, like Ange and, who's in charge of the football and all that, they will see it clearly too. But of course, they have that plan in their mind that we don't know because we are not in that circle to know what's going on, right? Yeah. At the moment, like what Adrian says is true, right? The smoke and mirrors. We get this smoke and mirrors every transfer window. You get what I'm saying? This is not the first one, guys. We're always going after, candidate A, candidate B, candidate C, candidate E. There's a whole list of them. Then all of a sudden, somebody you've not heard of comes in, and then that's the guy we sign, right? But if he fits and he does good, fair, right? But unless you're gonna say you're gonna splash out, a budget of, draw it to one side, we're gonna throw out 300 million pounds, right? In this 2 or 3 years, right? Plan it out what we're gonna buy. Then we can see development, and we most probably know that maybe some people who are not supposed to be meddling in the football matters are not meddling, and actually the football people are doing their job. So it's
and he would be a good boy, Ollie Watkins. We were very strongly linked with Samuel Illing Jr. at the ex-Chelsea player at Juventus.
Juventus.
But what position does he play? Is he a winger?
He's a winger.
Yeah,
And
he's
we've been linked. There's a lot of the talk has been over through the window and building up to is about a winger. And the only midfielders we've been linked with is two. We've been linked with loads of wingers. Bargy at Copenhagen. You know, we've been linked with quite a few. Jota as well. More wingers than midfielders anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering if there's Eling Jr., Paratici, and also the young midfielder at Juventus as well. We're even vaguely last year and come up one story this year. Probably nothing. Cambiasso, the left back as well. Dumfries, who would be a good acquisition.
We've been linked to
I like the younger version. I like Wilfred Singo at Torino better, but not better, but I like him because he's younger, basically.
Yeah, I hear all these names. Even Federico Chiesa, who is I rate him. I know he's had injuries, but when he's healthy, this guy is one of the best talented wingers in the world. And I laugh when I see the rumors to it. Even with Paratici still working in the background, I laugh and say, yeah, not happening. I just feel that this club going forward, what looks like backing is someone posted it, is going to be getting some mid talents and getting one for the future and hoping that person pans out. I mean, that's how I see it. I mean, it's Kessia, yeah.
Guys, I'm going to drop off now. Thank you for having me.
Yes,
We'll
good to hear your
perspective. But it's just for me, it's almost like box office says. I got to see it to believe it in regards to our transfer. Big up, Ben.
Come on, Ben. The link's out there. Come on.
We only got 10 more minutes left. It's just I really don't know. But the good sign is that the ones that have come in, Ange has done a good job with VDV. He's done a good job with Udoji. And so it's going to be those players. It's not going to be the players that people talk about every week. Oh, he's like extraordinary. Like Dragusin could really be a mint player, a quality player. And like I said, I put the ratings up. I put the video up. He could turn out, but he's not a household name. And so I just feel that we're going to get people who are not a household name yet, or they may bomb. Like
he's better than Emerson.
Yeah, like Emerson. So it's like rolling the dice. It really is.
Mari, you must understand, right? The transfer window is always rolling the dice, right? There's no guarantee to bring in a player and they'll fit, in a sense, But the thing is that
there are a few. There's a few, but
unless you're talking, you're talking about, it's those few are not in our price range.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not in our price range. So if we bring in players, like I said, I'm saying like this summer transfer window, we've been very lucky, right? Getting in the players and they're all fitting in and they're playing the way that we want, and they are not too bad in the performances and all that, right? But when you talk about
big up Scott,
big up, Scott. Join me. I'll send you the link, Scott. You're gonna join us.
We were talking about that last week on Friday. Yeah. I knew it was gonna happen, but
it's always gonna happen. Yeah. No, you see, like the Dragusin deal now, right? It's 20
new contract. What?
Yeah, Davis. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, if he gets a new contract, he's out.
If he gets a new contract,
yeah, we're all out. Right?
New contract.
But don't worry. Ben Davis is going to get his testimonial, right? We've been saying that for the past 3 years. Ben Davis with his testimonial, he's going to get it. Yeah, right. Exactly. No, but the thing is that what like Scott says, right? We get the players in, right? Whether the players gel, right? That's another question. If they turn out to be a mediocre player, world-class player, or basically suck at what they do, right? Like players like we got in like Emerson, right? Who can't, I'm not going to say we just say he doesn't fit the purpose for what we want. You know, a lot of players we have at this moment doesn't fit the purpose of what we see in Ange ball, and it's so clear. You understand what I'm saying? But how are we going to slowly change this whole squad, right? For Ange to choose the players that he thinks that can play the way that he needs to be played, right? That's why I think Adrian says that youth comes into it very important, because Ange plays with a lot of speed, high intensity. That's number one. Technical skill, because nowadays we see our football. Sometimes I like it is because it's like one touch, pop, 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 and we're up in the penalty box. You know, one touch, one touch, one touch, one touch, we're in the penalty box. That's the football we want to see. You can say that progressive and aggressive football, right? But we know at this current moment we don't have those players in our squad. We have a few of them, right? But due to injuries, suspensions, and blah blah blah, it has kicked us back again. So now it's that how do we evolve this squad,
Eugene,
right? Squad that we Ange can use.
Eugene,
Right.
you know, I just looked at my phone in my Instagram on ESPN FC, and Liverpool is not like Man City, Chelsea, you know, big money club. We're almost in the same bracket as Liverpool in regards to like finances. They make smart
Oh
buys.
yeah.
And they were just showing their two greatest January transfer windows are Luis Suarez from
Suarez.
Ajax
Yeah,
and Van Dijk from Southampton.
that's true.
Right? Nothing big is scoring. Though Luis Suarez was scoring a lot of goals in the
Yeah,
Dutch
but
league.
they also had
Okay,
Marino.
Murray.
They also
Look,
brought in Marino. They brought in Lovren, and they brought in the goalkeeper that cost them the
Yeah.
Champions League
No, but
final.
Murray,
They don't
Murray,
always get it right
I
either.
mean,
So
no, you will never get your transfer. There's no 100% right in the
The
transfer
Spurs would
window.
never drop 75 million or something like Van Dijk.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Spurs England in January dropped 75 million for
But
a
now,
defender.
as you mentioned, rightly so, now's the time to do it. Chelsea have got FFP problems. Man United have got FFP. Newcastle have got to watch FFP. Right, I'm not sure about Man City, how they've balanced their books.
at that time,
If we've got
Yeah.
targets now, get them in now, even if we've got to borrow money on top of what money we've got. I don't think we need to, though. And get them now, because we've got the jump on our rivals if they're interested in some of the players we got. Like I said, Tabibo's going to stay at Nice because they're going for the championship, right? He'll probably
Adrian, I'm going to ask you this question, right? You and I have been old Spurs fans, right? I'm sure you're a 40, 50 year being supporting Spurs, right? Minimum, you know, or maybe for your whole life, right? Have you ever seen us go out there, right, and outbid another club for a player?
Yeah, we used to because you didn't have so
I mean,
many
now.
transfers. A lot of clubs
Yeah.
relied on their youth and players back in the day. So if you went out and we paid 125,000 for Martin Chivers, that was top money. Spurs were always breaking the transfer window
Yes,
money. They
those
always
were
were
those
back then.
days.
But since
I'm
the
telling you
Premier
now.
League started, it's a different ball game.
Yeah, I haven't
It's a
seen
different ball game.
We have never outbid people. Whenever people throws us a number, we will always say, "Can I get 5 million off?"
You have to do your analytics, which Lange does, right? Joe and Langer, his name's called, right? And talk with Scottman and Matey and probably top coach Chris Curtis. Then you got JD Milenic. He's sitting up with the press, doing all the analytics during the game. Do the analysis first, and then when you want a clue, when it says Spurs have sent a scout to watch a player, like they sent one to watch a Norwich midfielder, funnily enough, the other day. I can't remember his name. So then you think, oh, hang on, we've done the analysis on this guy. We're now going to watch him. We're now going to do the eye test on him and see if like that we can get a double match on this guy, and then perhaps go in for him. I think we've got a list of players. I think there'll be players we haven't heard of personally.
Yeah, maybe they are. Most probably there is, right? The thing is that at this moment in time, how fast are we going to get them in? Will they be in time, you know, to meet up on the 15th, or is it 15th?
Well, we've got time because if Nathan's got his medical, say, the end of this week, look, they're only agreeing the fee and the add-ons, and it'll be the structure of the payments, right? So that usually takes a few days. You know, there's a lot of
the legal work, the paperwork, the contracts,
niggly little arguments over this amount on an add-on or a sell-on fee or something like this. So I'm confident.
Levy needs his
Dragon
chips
in.
and
He'll be
beer,
breathing
right?
fire, Murray.
Yeah.
We get the
Hopefully.
Dragon
And
in.
guys, don't forget, right?
There's
And
plenty of time to get another couple in.
if they're not homegrown, don't forget, if they're not homegrown, they will still have to get their work permits done and all that. And will they meet the requirements for the work permits and the blah blah blah? It goes on. There's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah, but you got from the 14th of January when we play Man United to the 30th, you've got the midwinter break. So if the Dragon comes in, at least you want them in early so his hands can work with them a bit. You give him a bit of time and coaching on the training.
That's what I'm saying. If you want Dragons in, I want him in now, or no later than a certain date, so at least you can be assimilated into the team to play against Manchester United. Yeah,
I mean, it's a good job Scarlett is coming back now that Velez is injured. I mean, like so.
But guys, you must understand, Scarlett didn't have much playing time in Ipswich anyway.
No,
you can say he didn't play much. Yeah, and he wasn't performing. I don't know. He didn't catch the eye of the manager Ipswich. So bring him back. Maybe he'll.
If we're just for pushing for top four, I'd go for Dybala.
Yeah.
13 mil, I'd go for. He's probably on. Mind you, the Italians, they don't pay the wages to Premier League clubs, but they do pay good wages. So he might be on 200 grand a week.
So
a couple of seasons. But if that deal's gonna work out like over a couple of years, 40, 50 mil, then I'll go and get him and his instead. It's like we'll see, won't we? We'll see on this.
It's always we'll see. Yeah.
So let's take some predictions. We played Burnley before we go on break.
Are we home or away?
Home.
Well, home.
Friday night.
I would say it's really tough to call because I don't know if he's going to go for youth movement or if we're going to try for the FA Cup. To be honest, I do not know. I'm gonna say maybe 1-0 Spurs, but I could easily see Burnley because I don't know what's the intention, really of what we're going to do. Sonny won't be there.
Bottom or Sheffield United bottom?
Burnley.
Yeah,
we play Burnley.
Yeah, no, are they bottom of the league or Sheffield United bottom?
Sheffield United.
We should.
How many goals have they conceded on average?
1-0 Spurs.
Yeah, okay. Guys, okay, I got a question, right? In this period of time, has Son left? Sa and Bissouma, we ain't gonna count him because he's already red card and no problem, right? Sa most probably is injured, he won't be playing, right? So my question, has Son left? If Son is not playing, right, I got a funny feeling you might even see Scarlett up top in this scenario, right? If they do play it. And we're playing Burnley at home, and the way and the way Burnley plays, right? I won't see a 1-0. I'll see a ding dong kind of thing. Maybe if we were to win, it will be something like a 3-1, 4-2 kind of thing, right? We know our defense is our defense.
Scott him.
Yeah. That's Scott. Yeah. Oh, Scott, it's back. So, but
the
FA Cup. What happened during the Carabao Cup got such an response from the fans, right? I don't think this FA Cup he will more or less put out a weaker team. I see he'll try to be as strong as possible, right? To a certain extent. I'll say 3-1 if we win, right? And I hope it rains again. Yeah, the rain will help us this time.
I agree, Ryan. I have no idea.
Yeah. And we don't know what kind of team Burnley's going to put out. You know what I'm saying? Right?
I think Burnley will try. I mean,
of course they all try.
It's not like they're the bottom of the league. I mean, they have no other choice but to try.
Yeah.
Well, they're conceding over 2 goals a game. They've conceded 41 goals this season, and they've scored 20. Yeah. So they could scoring 1 and conceding at least 2 a game. And that won't have just always been against top class opposition. If we go attack minded, like I say, with Lo Celso, Kula, and Bentancur, I think we'll smash them. We'll win by at least 3 clear goals. I think I'll go 3-0. I don't want to go too left field. 3-0.
Okay.
No,
do you got confidence in our defense? to go 3-0.
Yeah, because I don't think Burnley would be mad to go toe to toe with us.
That's how
We
they
spanked
play.
them
Right?
5-2 away,
Yeah, how they
remember?
play though, yeah.
Yeah, but that's how they play, right?
Remember, Son's not there. You do know, Son's not
But we-
Yeah,
there.
so I think Gill will get a run out on the left with
Mm.
Richie and Johnson. So we'll have loads of money.
Woo! Phil P's in the house.
Happy New Year,
Yeah,
Phil
okay.
P.
I think we're going to win
Happy birthday,
4-2
Phil.
anyway. So
4-2. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's why
it's the
we
first
don't
time
have
I've been on a
confidence in the
podcast
defense
with you and you
like that.
predicted a win. It's the first time.
FA Cup, right? We all want the FA Cup run. We want to have the FA Cup dream, you know. So at least we'll have a
I don't
cup,
think
right?
Scarlett will play. I think he'll be on the bench though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll get a chance to play, right? Hopefully he gets
Well,
a chance to
we've
play.
hit that time, the 1 hour and 30-minute mark. That's as far I wanted to go. And plus, my fiance sent me some more messages. I have to respond back to her. But quickly tell me where we can find you guys. Starting with Eugene, where can people find you?
Usually you can find me on Spurs Vision TV, or sometimes I'll be hopping around on the Has channel, or on the Ashmatics channel. And I haven't been on to Talk and Ball in a long time, and of course Tottenham Way sometimes. But if I'll try to put out more content there nowadays, right? But usually my content, I cater more to the Asian side of things, right? Get more Asian fans on, and plus 1 or 2 fans from the other side of the pond to have talk, right? If you want, just subscribe to Spurs Vision TV, put on a notification bell, then you will know when I'll be on, right? Usually there's no promises on Spurs Vision TV at the moment, right, guys? Yeah, thanks, Mary, for having me on, right? And then you know what I'm always saying, right? If they don't react fast enough, these are the words.
You got leave me out. Where can people
Yeah,
find
so
you?
I'm live tonight at 7 o'clock on my channel.
Oh.
Also, I do post-match reaction videos now. So after every game, you get a match reaction video at me as well. So please subscribe to Hasper TV. But also, I have a segment on Southview Quiz with Harry and TJ, and that will probably be Thursday this week because we're playing on Friday this time. But normally it's a Friday night show. So if you guys might have heard of it, but yeah. So you'll find me there and also on my channel Hasper TV.
Okay. And Adrian, where can people find you?
You can find me on my handle here on Twitter at Adrian_Sroka. You can find me on the Talk and Ball podcast as I'm part of their team. And we've got a Facebook group, Spurs Diehards TTID on Facebook, for those that use that media form. If people are interested, of course.
Yep. All right, guys. I will be back later on for North London is ours. TJ, possibly Stefan. Arsenal are in the mud. All right. Record Christmas Day in first, New Year's Day in fourth, and we're 1 point behind those mugs. Yes, they are in the mud. Watch it later on today. Same time, 9:30 UK time. Be there. It's going to be fun tonight. On that note,
Great show, guys. Thanks for the invite, Mari. Cheers.
And as always, Levy out.
Levy out. And come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.